So the last question from the debate on Tuesday: should code enforcement regulations be enforced or eliminated in Douglas County?
So that was a new question for me when that came up. So I did get a little bit of research about that, and I guess what the real issue that they were trying to get to with that question was, should code enforcement stay with community development where it is now, or should it be taken over by the sheriff? And so I've talked to members of both groups now and found out more. They were able to get back to me, and that didn't happen before the debate, but now afterwards I've got some more information on that. So the argument for it staying with community development is they are the keepers of the code. They're the ones that write the Title 20 code, and most of the code enforcement comes out of the planning code. That's building heights, getting permits, allowed uses, things like that. Those are all pretty much governed and understood by the planning personnel. Now, the flip side of that is, like the lady that was the code enforcement officer that quit, she got in a situation where the people were belligerent. It was I believe it was a vacation rental issue, and they got into somewhat of an altercation. The guy spit on her, and she was like, what, I don't need this. And so she quit. And at that point, someone with a badge could handle that situation better. So it comes back to my magic word, communication. So what I feel we need to do is that it probably should stay with community development, because right now it's complaint driven. They can take in the complaints and they have the answers to what the code is for that certain situation. And then they need to communicate with the sheriff's office of, hey, we have a complaint at X address, and the sheriff's office, say it's a meth lab. Sheriff's office might go, yep, we know about that, and we're monitoring that, and so we're trying to do whatever, we've got that staked out or whatever, and keep our code enforcement person from going and knocking on the door to a potentially dangerous situation. So how do we do that? Well, everything is address or parcel number driven. We need to get our GIS system, which basically combines our databases based on our addresses and parcel numbers. And that way everybody has access, everybody knows what's going on. We know if there's many cases there. We would also know if there is an outstanding incident, say the sheriff has something going on at a certain address that they've had multiple violations or something like that are out that haven't been paid. Well, when something comes into the planning department for, say, a building permit for who knows what, then they would know that there are fees out here and these guys can't move forward. So those are kinds of things that would be communication back and forth. So that's really where it needs to grow, is that, yes, maybe I feel like it probably should stay with code enforcement, but with good communication with our sheriff. When there are situations like our code enforcement officer ran into, they would have the backup and the support of the sheriff's office. And then we're not creating more sheriff requirements that they would need to have additional staffing or something like that just to handle code enforcement that's being handled by the community development now.